What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 25 of the Idiotic Sports Talk. I'm your host, Liam Gavin, coming to you live from my kitchen, and let's get this thing on the road. Let's get it started. Week 7 of the NFL season starts tonight, but before I get into that, last week I went 8-6 on my picks. It was my worst week this year. I was expecting double digits. I was expecting to at least get 10 games right, so let's see if I could bounce back this week and do a better job. So let's cover some football. Tonight we have the New York Giants facing the Philadelphia Eagles. Two teams that I despise, but both of them are trying to battle it out in the NFC least. And this is a big game. I think whoever wins this, they move themselves up in that division. And this could be a big game down the road to decide who wins the NFC East. I really dislike the Giants, but I dislike the Eagles even more. So I'm going to pick the Giants winning tonight, 24-21. As for the Sunday games, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers facing the Tennessee Titans. Both teams are 5-0. Both teams are looking like they could be potential Super Bowl contenders. I think this is going to come down who could really stop the run. You have James Conner, really good running back. But then you have Derrick Henry, who's just far more superior. He's been killing it. He had over 200 yards last week rushing. But the Steelers' defense is no joke. Like, if there's any running back that they could stop, or if there's a strong point of their game, it's definitely stopping the run. But Tennessee's defense isn't bad either. I just see Pittsburgh having the slightly better offense, but having a way better defense. So it's tough to call, but with that being said, I'm going to go 35-30 Pittsburgh. It's definitely going to be a high-scoring game. As for Cleveland versus Cincinnati, Cleveland's looking to bounce back after getting embarrassed the other night, or, last week by Pittsburgh. Cincinnati's looking to play a spoiler alert, though. They almost beat a really tough Colts team, but choked a 21-0 lead. I definitely see Cleveland winning this one. I'm going to go 38-28. I think Baker's going to bounce back, and I think they're going to establish the run game again with Kareem Hunt, and I think he's going to go off. So that's my score for that. Buffalo versus the Jets. Buffalo, like I said, they play really well against teams below 500. The Jets are 0-6. So I see Buffalo winning this one 35-17. I think they're going to bounce back after losing 2 straight and get back in the win column. As for Carolina versus New Orleans, this is a huge NFC South rivalry, and both teams are fighting to win that division. It's so competitive between the Bucs, the Saints, and the Panthers. So this is going to be tough to call. Carolina's got two of the best receivers in the league with DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. But New Orleans has some firepower on offense too, and they're coming off of a bye. I'm going to say New Orleans takes this one 27-20 in a really close match. Next is the Detroit Lions versus the Atlanta Falcons. Two teams with pretty good offenses, but with horrible defenses. So I think whoever defense is going to show up is who's going to win the game. With that being said, I like Detroit on this one, going 35-34. It's going to be a really close game. Next is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington football team. As a Cowboys fan, this game's going to stress me out, no doubt. It's going to come down to the last 3 seconds and give me gray hair. Dallas desperately needs a win after getting smoked by the Cardinals. Washington's lost 5 straight ever since winning in week 1. But I really don't know. This could go either way, and it's going to be a scary game. But I'm going to pick Dallas because I never pick against my Cowboys. I'm going 27-24. I think this is the game that Ezekiel Elliott bounces back. He puts his fumbling troubles behind him. And I could see Andy Dalton playing well in this game too. Washington defense is no joke, and the Cowboys O-line is all banged up. But I think if their O-line could at least protect Andy Dalton and give him time in the pocket and give Ezekiel Elliott running lanes, the Cowboys are going to take it. Next is the Green Bay Packers versus the Houston Texans. Now, the Houston Texans are that team that their record's bad, but they're better than what their record says they are. They could play spoiler alert, upset alert at any given Sunday, but they're facing a Packers team that just got mortified by the Buccaneers on the road. And usually when that happens, Aaron Rodgers comes out pissed off. So I expect him to throw at least 4 touchdowns, and I think Green Bay gets this win 38-24. As for the Seattle Seahawks versus the Arizona Cardinals, I know the Cardinals are at home. I kind of like what I see from the Cardinals. They haven't really beaten anyone special. They have lost to two teams that they really shouldn't have lost to, but Seattle's just different. I know that their defense is horrible, but I think they're getting Jamal Adams back, so that's good. And they have Russell Wilson. I mean, the guy's potentially winning MVP. They're 5-0 right now because of him, and they're coming off a bye week, well-rested. I don't see Arizona beating them at all, so I'm rolling with Seattle on this one, 34-24. Next is the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Jacksonville, ever since week 1, they've lost 5 straight. Gardner Minshew's turning the ball over consistently. Their defense can't stop a nosebleed. They've just looked horrible in the past 5 weeks. The Chargers, even though their record's 1-4, they've looked a lot better than what their record said. Like, they're always competing with teams. They competed with the Saints. They competed with the Chiefs. So I think Justin Herbert finally gets his first win as an NFL starter. And I'm going with the Chargers on this one, 27-16. Next is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos. Denver played New England really tough. Their defense looks really good. Their offense is a question mark, though. And if they're not going to be able to score consistently, I think they'll have no shot of beating the Chiefs, because the Chiefs could score at will, pretty much. Like, anytime they need something, they could be down 20 points, and next thing you know, Mahomes throws back-to-back 80-yard bombs to Tyreek Hill, and boom, they're right back in the game. So I do like Kansas City on this one. I'm gonna go with this one, 30-13. It's my prediction. Chiefs get that win, and they beat the Broncos. Next is the San Francisco 49ers versus the New England Patriots. Both teams haven't looked that great. New England looked horrible last week, but San Francisco looked really well playing against the Rams, which are a tough team. I know that the Niners are getting healthier now, and I know that New England still has some starters out. So I expect it to be a close game. It's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo versus his old team, the New England Patriots, in Foxborough, where Jimmy Garoppolo played most of his career, or he was a backup for Tom Brady. This is going to be really tough to call, but I like the Niners on this one, 28-24. I think they're going to establish the run a lot better than what New England's going to have. New England's weapons on offense isn't that great. Their O-line's not that great. Their defense has been banged up, so I like the Niners on that one. Next is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. The Buccaneers smoked a good Packers team the other week, blew them out. Their defense is playing phenomenal. Tom Brady's been starting to catch up now. He's starting to adapt to a new system and a new team, and he's looking like his old self. He's not turning the ball over like he was in previous weeks. Vegas is coming off a bye week. The Raiders are going to be well rested, but their whole O-line is going to be hurt. And I don't see that playing to them as their favor, because I won't see them being able to have Josh Jacobs. I won't be able to see them opening lanes for Josh Jacobs or protecting Derek Carr in the pocket, because their entire O-line is banged up. And Tampa's front seven is just something else. So I see them feasting on the Raiders. But I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to roll with the Bucs here, 34-28. And as for the last game in Week 7, the Monday night game between the Chicago Bears and LA Rams, this is another good game. The Chicago Bears are 5-1, quietly 5-1. Not a lot of people are giving them recognition. And the Rams are 4-2. I think it's going to come down to who has the better defense, and I'm rolling with Chicago on that. Jared Goff, he's an average quarterback. He can make plays. He can get you some wins. But I noticed with Jared Goff's career, he really struggles against good defenses. Like, he plays absolutely horrible against good defenses, and Chicago has a really good defense. Now, the Rams have a good defense too, but it's not as good as Chicago's. But if you're asking me whose offense am I going to pick, I'm going to pick the Rams offense over the Bears offense. I see this one being a low-scoring game, honestly, and I'm going to go with the Bears winning this one 21-17. Nick Foles getting the W and the Bears going to 6-1. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Remember to follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you could win $100. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.